Planet X TV.
And we're back here at Planet X. I'm here with a very special guest. This is Daniel Hernandez of the Hollenbeck Youth Center and Inner City Games. He founded this 35 years ago. What a wonderful event. Congratulations to you. Could you just tell me a little bit about what inspired you to start this organization?
Well, I think the inspiration comes from growing up in the neighborhood. I was on the other side of the track, and then in time went to Vietnam and learned what real disaster and trouble was all about. And when I came back, I dedicated my time to study and become part of the solution rather than the problem. And it didn't come easy because, the officers at the time did not allow people to go into their institution, but in time, when you build relationships, you're able to understand that everybody's just a human being like anyone else. So from my point of view was that if I could get the officers and the community and business all hooked up in a model that can create an environment that everyone wanted to work together for the betterment of our kids, then that would work, and it did work, and it's been duplicated in 15 cities throughout the United States.
Yes, and congratulations. That's an inspirational story. Is there anything in the last 35 years where you've really seen some real change, either in this community or maybe just nationwide?
Well, ever since we rolled out the Inner City Games, which is the model of the original Hollenbeck Youth Center, in 92, crime has actually gone down, and it's continued to go down ever since 92. There's some spikes, which you're starting to see today, and I think that's because there has been a generation gap from what we were doing prior to now. And I think that's why we have to go out and repeat the message, keep saying, hey, there has been good work. There are community policing programs that work. We are an example of it. But like I said, the generations of officers, generations of kids that have filtered on, that have been part of it, are now starting to forget. So we got to make sure that they understand that there are good programs where law enforcement and community can work together.
And just in light of the recent events that have been happening for the last few years here in the United States, I feel like police officers have really been in the public eye, and especially inner city communities. Could you just speak a little bit to maybe how that might have shifted your just your mission the last couple of years, or anything that you particularly have felt is an important cause as a result of these current events?
Yeah, I think the things that have been taking place across the country, whether it was in Ferguson or Dallas most recently, does affect me personally, because I feel that we have created this model, but I have to look and say, why is it happening? And I come to the conclusion that the generations that have been part of it in the beginning have already grown up and taken their own way of life. So yes, this is encouraging me to go back on and let the world know that it's needed again. And we have to start now finding funds. We've got to start now getting other people to become part of the solution rather than sitting back in the sidelines, because we have the power to make change. We've made it. It's not as though it never happened. We have created the formula. All we got to do is go back to that formula and throw it out there again. I think we're going to have some success.
That's wonderful. And I read a quote that you have here in the program. It says, all kids are a lifetime investment. Can you just talk a little bit about what that quote means to you?
What it means is that we have to form relationship with our community and our law officers and our business, and you don't do it just when you wake up and do it one day. It's a lifetime investment. You got to invest every day, and you got to continue to invest, because you have new kids growing up and new kid generations coming. And if you're not investing and always letting them know that these kind of programs and activities exist for them, and there is an opportunity to create environments where everybody can work together, then, and without the funds that are needed, we're not really investing in our kids. We're just preaching to them. And I think we have to invest in our kids daily. It has to be a lifetime investment.
So what can we as normal citizens, not all of us can start at Hollenbeck Youth Center, what can we as ordinary individual citizens do to help that cause?
I think just get that seed in your mind that you're going to go out there and do something. Talk about it. Go out to a local nonprofit organization, youth centers, boys and girls clubs. Go to the police station and say we want to work together. We want to work together for the betterment of our community. I mean, one person at a time will make a big difference.
When I grow up, I want to fly. High in the sky, the birds in the clouds, in the supersonic jets. I will fly.
An investment in our children is an investment in our future. Support the Inner City Games.
Danny, I hear that you are writing a book about your experiences. Can you just tell us what it's called and a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's experiences that I had in Vietnam. I think that is a pivotal point of how I'm seeing life today, and I understand that nothing can be any worse than war. When you go out there and put your body and life in front and see your fellow grunt Marines doing the same, there's nothing more deeply or more causing to believe that something can go wrong this earth unless you experience a war. Yeah, I wrote a manual that's about 14 pages on my experience in Vietnam, and I think I started to write because in 2009 I was awarded a Silver Star, the third highest.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The third highest medal given for valor in the military. And that day, a lot of my Marine Corps brothers that were grunts that were in Vietnam, and I was given it for a battle that I fought, Operation Utah, showed up to the event. And I could see in their eyes that in that event we were living the moment of that 25 years prior together. We heard the battlefield. We heard the cry of our fellow Marines. We saw the flesh that was being hit by bullets and all that. And all of us said, maybe we should write something about it. Unfortunately, I guess that was in time we got together and none of us really had anything on paper, so I finally decided I better write about it. So I started writing. It took me 4 years. But I think I definitely caught the moment of the battle and my growing up and maturing through the Marine Corps as a Marine. But I also could see that growing up on the wrong side of the track, all the stuff that I had to endure because I just didn't know any better. That was the culture of our growing up. It was to do what you do to survive. It was survival. Same time, it did help me in the battlefield. And then when I got out, I had to make a decision. I guess I was considered a pretty good warrior because everyone wanted to keep me in the Marine Corps. And I finally had to make a decision that, no, I better get out because I saw what was happening in my community, even in my own household, the drugs, the illiteracy, all the stuff that's a quicksand of inner city life was there. And I felt that I had to come home and help rather than stay in the Marine Corps. It was a tough decision because I went deep with these Marines where no one else had gone. But I also went in deep with my inner city community. And it wasn't easy when I got out of the Marine Corps. It wasn't as though we were coming to a welcome zero, and people did not respond to us to give us encouragement to move on. But through that 8 to 10 year period, I did get a college degree and was able to move on and was able to build what I've built for the last 35 years.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you so much for your service and for your bravery. I think you have such an inspirational story, and just to hear you speak on that, and the fact that it took you 4 years to write this book, I'm sure it must have been extremely difficult to get in touch with that part of your past.
It was totally, it was it was difficult, and it brought back so many memories that, when I first got out of the Marine Corps, it took me years before I could sleep the 8 hours. And the last 4 years, it brought back those same memories, and it's been difficult, but at the same time, it had to be done, I think I owe it to all those fallen that did make it home with my company. I think I owe it to tell the next generation of inner city kids that, hey, it's tougher somewhere else. And I think I owe it to America to create these programs to help make a difference. We could make change.
Well, it's wonderful to hear that message and wonderful to see everything you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
The brightest stars in the galaxy are on planet X.
Only here.
Feliz Navidad.
And Merry Christmas. Hello, my name is Priscilla Hernandez, co-chair of the Inner City Games at Hollenbeck Youth Center's Miracle on First Street toy giveaway.
And I'm Mark Sanchez, official ambassador to the Inner City Games.
Miracle on First Street is a 3-decade tradition that embodies the true spirit of the holiday, providing gifts to over 10,000 young people and families in the Los Angeles area. For more information, please call 323-881-6562. Again, 323-881-6562.
Hope to hear from you soon.
Planet X TV.